1. Kerr County flood timeline, when warnings began before catastrophic disaster. 2. Texas floods, did the National Weather Service fail? Experts weigh in. 1. Kerr County flood timeline, when warnings began before catastrophic disaster. Imagine waking up to the devastating news that your community has been ravaged by catastrophic flooding, leaving a trail of destruction and claiming the lives of 68 people, including 28 innocent children. This is the harsh reality that the people of Kerr County, Texas, faced on the 4th of July. As the community struggles to come to terms with the disaster, a haunting question lingers: could this tragedy have been prevented? But here's where it gets controversial. Officials are now facing intense scrutiny over whether sufficient warnings were issued to the public, sparking a heated debate about the effectiveness of the emergency response system. The National Weather Service had sent out a series of flash flood warnings in the early hours of Friday, but officials claim that no one could have anticipated the sheer scale of the disaster. As the investigation unfolds, it's becoming increasingly clear that the warning system in place was inadequate, and the lack of a warning system on the river has raised eyebrows. So, what really happened, and could the tragedy have been mitigated? Let's delve into the timeline of events to understand the circumstances surrounding this catastrophic flood. On Wednesday, July 2nd, at 5:47 p.m., the Texas Division of Emergency Management activated state emergency response resources in anticipation of flooding in west and central Texas. The following morning, the National Water Center issued a flood hazard outlook, identifying flash flood potential for Kerrville and surrounding areas. A flood watch was issued for Kerr County at approximately 1:45 p.m. on Thursday, July 3rd, and was later extended at 8:12 p.m. As the situation escalated, a flash flood warning with a considerable tag was issued for Bandera and Kerr counties at 1:14 a.m. on Friday, July 4th, triggering wireless emergency alerts and NOAA weather radio notifications. But despite these warnings, local officials claim that they didn't expect the flood to be so severe. Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly stated that the county doesn't have a warning system on the river, and when pressed about why evacuations didn't take place on Thursday evening, he said, "We didn't know this flood was coming." The question on everyone's mind is, how could a disaster of this magnitude occur without warning? And this is the part most people miss: the public can become desensitized to too many weather warnings, which can lead to a false sense of security. As Republican U.S. Representative Chip Roy aptly put it, there's going to be a lot of finger-pointing, a lot of second-guessing and Monday morning quarterbacking. The community is left to pick up the pieces and wonder what could have been done differently. President Donald Trump has since signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County, activating the Federal Emergency Management Agency to Texas. As the people of Kerr County begin the long process of recovery, one thing is certain: this tragedy will spark a necessary conversation about the effectiveness of our emergency response systems and the importance of being prepared for the unexpected. So, we ask you, do you think the officials did enough to warn the public, or were there lapses in the system that contributed to this tragedy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Texas floods, did the National Weather Service fail? Experts weigh in. Was the storm's ferocity truly unforeseeable? A rift has emerged between Texas authorities and the National Weather Service over the accuracy of weather predictions that failed to foresee the catastrophic impact of a recent storm. In the heart of Texas, the Guadalupe River's waters surged dramatically, rising 26 feet in a mere 45 minutes early Friday, leading to widespread devastation. This sudden deluge resulted in the tragic loss of at least 78 lives, with the majority occurring in Kerr County. Despite the urgency, many were taken aback by the storm's severity, which seemed to exceed all warnings. But here's where it gets controversial: did the National Weather Service provide adequate warning? According to a spokesperson, the agency had indeed briefed emergency officials, issued a flood watch, and sent out flash flood warnings well before the disaster struck. They assert their commitment to safeguarding the public through timely and effective forecasting. Yet, some local officials, like Kerr County's Judge Rob Kelly, expressed shock at the flood's magnitude, claiming it was beyond any prior predictions. This discrepancy points to the inherent challenges in predicting extreme weather, a task complicated by the unpredictable nature of atmospheric conditions. Michael Morgan, an atmospheric sciences professor, acknowledges the difficulty in forecasting precise precipitation levels, which remains a daunting aspect of meteorological science. Despite these challenges, he believes the National Weather Service performed its duty, providing as much detail as possible as the situation evolved. The debate intensified when Texas Division of Emergency Management Chief W. Nim Kidd criticized the initial forecasts, which significantly underestimated the rainfall. Governor Greg Abbott also noted that while warnings were issued, the scale of the flood was beyond normal expectations. Amidst this backdrop, the National Weather Service's capabilities have been further strained by recent job cuts under the Trump administration, which critics argue may have hindered the agency's response effectiveness. These cuts have sparked a broader discussion about the adequacy of current weather forecasting resources and the potential need for reinvestment in meteorological research and staffing to better predict and manage future weather-related disasters. What do you think? Could more precise predictions and better preparedness have lessened the impact of this disaster, or was the storm's unprecedented nature simply beyond current forecasting capabilities? Share your thoughts and join the discussion on how we can better prepare for such unpredictable events.